What's going on, guys? Keen from the Fast Break, back at it again with a new video. Hope you're doing well. Today, in today's video, we'll be discussing specifically NBA Bubble Awards, and that's gonna be 2 weeks into the season restart. So the season restarted July 30th. As of today, it's the 11th, so that's 13 days, so almost 2 weeks. And of the 88 games that are scheduled to play in the play-in round, the majority of them are done, and as the playoffs are actually starting on the 17th of August, we're pretty much two-thirds in the way for the play-in round. So I wanted to make a quick little video of my little NBA awards. Sorry, obviously this has no real meaning other than for speculation and just becoming more involved with the game. So let's go ahead and start it off with the best team category. So I'm going to do this by conference. And in the East, although I'm a die-hard Raptors fan, there's no bias in this because you cannot tell me otherwise, other than the fact that the Raptors are the best team in the East right now, and honestly probably the best team in the league. Obviously not in terms of viability in winning the championship, but in terms of just shape right now and chemistry, they're the best team. The Celtics did blow them out, and they're playing also pretty good. But Kemba Walker is struggling. He needs to pick up his game if the Celtics really want to challenge and become a title contender. And also, like the Raptors, they were already winning so many games, so they were bound to like lose one eventually because they're just gonna get so tired of grinding them out. So yes, the Raptors, they're having one of the best starts in the whole bubble, other than of course Phoenix. But yeah, so they're 5-1 right now as of today. So next for the West, we have the Rockets. The Rockets are 4-1. They're really playing well. Both Westbrook, especially Harden. Harden's leading the league right now in points, I'm pretty sure, and he's also just being an overall offensive beast. And it's showing that their shortness is not that much of a liability. Like they're beating teams that are taller than them, and they're actually most games coming back from a lot of points, which is a pretty good thing because it shows that they're a resilient team. And in terms of the West, they're like probably like the best team I'd say right now, especially Russell Westbrook and James Harden. That's just one of the best duos in the league. Don't think I forgot the Suns though. Like in terms of best team right now, like today, it is by far the Suns. A running joke in the league right now is that they're playing so well because they're used to not having fans in the stadium. So that's kind of funny because there's no fans, obviously, because of the coronavirus. But yeah, the Suns are 6-0 right now. Best record in the entire bubble. Only undefeated team so far. Devin Booker is leading the way, and this is just a really good team. I've watched some highlights, but I haven't watched them play that much. But I think from what Booker has said in other teams' interview, the Suns just appeared to have really grinded out during this, what was it, like 4 months of hiatus, and they really just worked on their game and put in the work while some other people were just kind of loafing, to be honest, during the break, taking excuses. But the Suns just went hard. They did not let the stereotype get in the way, and they're the best team right now. Yeah, I think I said the Raptors are the best, but like it's a different kind of shell. It's a different like meaning. But yeah, they're like one of the best teams right now in the league. So, and that in the bubble, yeah. So worst performing team is the Wizards. It's funny because before the bubble, one would have said that the Wizards and Suns are evenly matched. If not, the Wizards are better. Obviously with John Wall, but not without John Wall, they're like the Wizards are barely better on paper. But they have diametrically opposed reciprocal records currently. And if you don't know what that means, I kind of use fancy words there. The Suns are 6-0 and the Wizards are 0-6. How hilarious is that? The Wizards is absolutely ass right now, and the Suns are just unstoppable. That's really funny to me. So that's the worst performing team, and you can't. This is objective. Like the worst performing team is literally the worst record, and the best performing team, which was the Suns, is the best record. Now moving on, we have another worst award team. I mean a worst team award, and that's the biggest flop team, and that is easily, without a doubt, at me in the comments. Like literally, you cannot argue this. The Lakers. Everybody thought they were all being like, "Oh, LeBron, he's gonna get so much rest. He's gonna be literally a demon." But this guy is flopping, bro. AD is carrying most of the offensive burden. Just guys are not stepping up. Like the Lakers are just absolutely terrible right now. Wait, let me see if I have their record. I do not, but I know that it's losing. I think it might be 2-3, or maybe it's 3-2. But they're just not performing well. People thought that they would just absolutely destroy everybody in the bubble because of the rest, but the Lakers, I don't know. I think it's Frank Vogel's fault. Because like I said, on paper, the Lakers are just stacked. They have a lot of guys, but I don't know. I think the coaching just can't get them to work together. I think this is a coaching problem. I don't think that with the current situation they're gonna win the title. No way. All right. So I have 2 MVP awards coming up. So the first one is going to be MVP in terms of assisting their team into getting wins. That's easily Devin Booker. He is leading the way, like I said before, for the Suns to be in this position. Example being that clutch shot, easily the most clutch shot of the NBA restart so far against the Clippers. And, he's just being a nice role model for his teammates to, tell them, keep on grinding, we got this, let's keep on going. So yeah, D-Book, he's even averaging something like 28 points or 30 points and 40% from three-point land, which he's a high-volume shooter, is crazy good, and he's shooting over 50% field goal percentage overall. So he's just really the best MVP for their team. So like MVP for their team, most valuable player for their team award. Moving on to straight up MVP, just like, the best individual player right now. That's actually plural. We have both James Harden and Luka Doncic for this award. So James Harden, everybody knows he's leading the league in points right now. So he's probably going to become the scoring champion this year. And you just can't deny the fact that he's the best offensive player in the league. And he's really helping the Houston Rockets by, obviously sometimes just going ISO and doing everything himself. So, he's the MVP in that sense. You just can't get away from that fact. He also dropped 49 points one time. Another time he dropped, I don't know what he dropped, but he's dropping high points. And then we have Luka Doncic, who's also averaging, I think it's over 30. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's over 30 points. It's not as high as James Harden, but what he is averaging that's league leading, it's 12 assists per game. He dropped 19 assists one game, so he's going crazy overall. James Harden's the best scorer right now, but I think the best overall player right now is definitely Luka Doncic. Right as I'm making this video, Damian Lillard actually dropped 61 points against, who was it? I forget, but he dropped 61 points, and then the game before that he dropped 51 points. So he's also an MVP. I just was so shocked by that. I didn't really put on the list, but I guess he's the third player. Damian Lillard is, I guess he'd be in the same category as James Harden in terms of being in his bag offensively, 2 50 plus point games. That was a record for the Blazers, and I don't think that does not happen regularly each season. That's probably once every 5 seasons or whatever. But that is just so rare to drop 51 points and 61 points, average 55 points or 56, whatever it was, 55.5 or 2 games. That is some Kobe 81 points type shit. So yes, most improved player, moving on, is going to be another shared title, and that's going to be TJ Warren, obviously, and then Gary Trent Jr. from the Blazers, and then obviously TJ Warren on the Indiana Pacers. So starting off, I was just going to put TJ Warren on this because he's just going that crazy, but he actually choked so hard against the Heat. So that's why I decided that Gary Trent Jr. should also get a spot on the most improved player list. So starting off with, I guess, TJ Warren, he obviously dropped, 53 points in the first game against the Sixers, was it? I forget, but I know he dropped 53. He obviously, Oladipo is not playing good, which is expected since he's recovering from that torn quad from Pascal Siakam, his tumble. And Domantas Sabonis is not even there, so the Pacers were kind of nobody thought they'd do good unless a player stepped up, which TJ Warren did. The first 3 games he was averaging 34 points, tied with Harden, and then after that he's kind of fizzled out, which I thought was going to happen. And that's why, even though he's playing out of his mind, he's kind of fizzling out, which shows that obviously he's not like Superman or James Harden or anything, but he is playing way better than expected, so he definitely gets a spot on the most improved player. And then we obviously have Gary Trent Jr., who is on the Blazers. He's averaging only, I don't know, like 20 points, something, maybe even less, but he is absolutely bullseye from three-point range right now. I think he's averaging over 50% from three. He's just like, because, McCollum and, what's his name, Lillard, they're obviously really good, but I think in like a couple games they actually kind of like slacked off. But Gary Trent Jr. has been like solid, consistent throughout all the games, hitting threes at an incredibly high efficiency rate, and he's also playing extravagant defense. He had like a really good stop against PG in their game against the Clippers, even though they lost, but it was a really good close comeback that almost happened, except Dame missed those clutch free throws, which is also why I kind of thought he wasn't deserving for the MVP role. But anyways, Gary Trent Jr. stopped PG. He stole the ball from him, and he was really getting in PG's head. Like, bruh, PG is getting bodied right now by everybody. I'm sorry. Like, he's a really good player, but he's just getting bodied by everybody. And rent in his head is free. So, like, Gary Trent Jr., he's both defensively and offensively just in his bag and so consistent right now that he is also the most improved player in the NBA bubble. All right. Best coach has to go to my boy, Nick Nurse. I mean, like, not even in the bubble, just altogether. After losing Kawhi, they're just as good, if not better. I don't know if you compared their records from this year and last year. I know they're going to be hella close. And anyways, last year, Kawhi wasn't even playing that much in the regular season. But anyways, yeah, so the Raptors, the fact that they're still like the best team in the league, probably because they're beating the Lakers. I mean, if they didn't lose to the Celtics, it would have been certain that they're best team in the league. But after the Celtics, they're like probably top 3 right now. Yeah, so Nick Nurse, you are literally brilliant. And yeah, I don't know if I said this, but there's actually 2 people. I'm sorry I'm giving these awards to 2 people, but it's just because that's the way it's easy for me to make the list. And for the second best coach, we have the Suns coach. I honestly have no idea what his name is because the Suns are kind of irrelevant, even though they're the most goated team in the league right now. But yeah, whoever he is, he's great. I'm sorry I don't know your name, but that's just because you're on the Suns. If you're on any other team, I would probably know your name, coach. But you are doing a good job, and you are also the best coach in the bubble so far, the Suns coach. Nice. Best rookie? Some people are going to say John Morant. Hell no. They're like 1 in 5. People are forgetting that Michael Porter Jr. is a rookie. Bro dropped 37 points and 12 rebounds. Like, he's just straight up going off. I put on my Instagram, like, when he dropped to 14, these teams are so stupid. They should have picked him up top 10, top 5. But anyways, they were like, injury. And same with Bol Bol. Like, Bol Bol can be like a secondary recipient for MIP, most improved player, but he's just not putting up that good numbers, but better than expected, obviously. But back to MPJ. He's just going off crazy. He's 6'11". I don't know what his wingspan is, but I know it's more than 7 feet. And because Jamal Murray, Gary Harris, and Will Barton aren't even playing, he's just taking up their spot. And it's actually a really good thing for his development in game, because I knew that if they gave him the time and the minutes, he was just going to go crazy. And MPJ is easily the best rookie in the bubble right now. Like, who else is there, honestly? Best beef? This is kind of just like a funny category. Best beef is going to be Damian Lillard versus both the Rockets and the Clippers. The Clippers more so because that Instagram beef literally went to the family. Like, Paul George's stripper girlfriend, Lily, was beefing with Damian Lillard's sister. But then again, you also have to take into account Damian Lillard and Russell Westbrook's beef is like more, it's like more substantiated because they were actually like absolutely going crazy against each other in last year's playoffs. I guess like Damian Lillard and PG also were going at it last year's playoff, but that was only after 1 shot that they were like, beefing each other, since like obviously Damian hit that shot and then PG said that was a bad shot. But like in Russ and Dame's case, like they're actually talking the whole series, like saying, you're bad, whatever. So like both Damian Lillard against the Rockets and the Clippers is going to be must-see television if they play again. Like that's by far the biggest beef. All right, so moving on, we have the best defensive player in the year and the 6th man. So I'm gonna leave this to you guys. I don't even know if anyone's gonna comment, but might as well put it out there. So the sixth man is probably gonna be Lou Williams, like it is every year. Like I don't even pay attention to that, to be honest, because you know six men are usually irrelevant. But yeah, if you have a pick for six man, leave that below. Also, if you think it's Lou, Will, leave that below. And then defensive player of the year, I heard it's either Davis, Davis, and what are their names? Davis, Gobert, or Antetokounmpo. Like it's probably gonna be Gobert like every year. So like I guess. But if you guys have a pick out of those three that you're certain on, please leave that in the comments and you know, let me know what's going on. So I just want to have some last closing remarks. The Pelicans and the Grizzlies are two of the teams also that are falling short of expectations. They're actually, this is due to, I found this on one website, they had actually the easiest schedules in terms of strength of the opponent, but both teams, I know the Grizzlies are still technically the 8th seed, but the Pelicans, they can't even make the playoffs anymore. They suck. But yeah, those two teams kind of lacked. Other than that, the Spurs are, you know, fighting. They still have a chance to get into the playoffs and keep their 22-year streak alive, coming on to 23rd. If they can, then it's going to be another NBA record. So yeah, other than that, those are just kind of some remarks at the end. They're just overall in the bubble. But mostly I was just trying to talk about those what was it called? Those awards. Yeah, so I actually want to make this video again, maybe sometime during the playoffs. You know, once teams are eliminated and we have like a more focused pool of players and teams, so I can actually, you know, have more exact and precise answers. But other than that, you guys, that's it for this video. If you watch all the way to here, I appreciate it a lot, and I'm gonna see you guys soon.